So welcome everybody. This is our very first doc party for WTMD. So excited for our guests tonight. You know them and love them. We play them on the Yacht Club every Sunday between 11 and 1 here on 89.7. Burleigh Drummond, an American drummer, percussionist, producer, songwriter, and singer. He is a founding member and the only drummer and percussionist for the 5-time Grammy Award nominated band Ambrosia. His wonderful wife, Mary, is to his left, also a member of Ambrosia. Used to play with Jimmy Buffett, I believe. And together, along with their daughter, Sierra, who is right there, and son Burleigh, have a band called Tin Drum. Burleigh also plays drums in Player with Mr. Peter Beckett and in Wonderground with Bill Champlin. And he is one of the nicest guys that you could possibly meet. Love Mr. Burleigh. And then, of course, we've got Peter Beckett, an English musician and songwriter who has written songs for many prominent recording artists, including Olivia Newton-John, Hart, Kenny Rogers, plus more, including his own bands and solo work. And for several films, of course, you know him and love him the best for being the lead singer and guitarist for Player. Also, he's toured with a few other bands that you may have heard, including Little River Band. And he has a fun startup that he just did during the pandemic, Baby Come Back Bubbly with Yacht Rock Wines. We're going to be chatting all about that. Peter is a delight to talk to. And with that, let's bring him on. Burleigh, Peter, Mary, Sierra, welcome to the Doc Party.
You know what's great, Meredith, is that, you know and love us, but we all love each other too. So there you go.
It is a big love fest over there. It is a big love fest over there. So tell me a little bit. I know that you guys you used to live close together, not too far apart, but Peter and Eden, just last summer, you decided to pack up everything and head on out of California and go north. Where did you go?
It's a funny thing. We were kicked out of our house 3 times, evacuated in 3 years. And we kind of had it we lived in a high fire area in Calabasas. And when the pandemic hit, we had this whole nothing going on thing. And we always wanted to move to the Seattle kind of area, Puget Sound. And we did it. We just, like, in the middle of the pandemic, we packed everything up. We sold our house and we jumped in our truck and drove to Beverly pretty much with all the stuff in the back of the truck, We did. And we went up there, we bought a house. Is about, how long ago? Six months ago.
September, we moved in.
Last September, yeah.
That is amazing.
Beautiful. We're very happy up there. It's very wet.
Yeah.
No fires, too wet.
Well, it's nice to see you all reunited because I know you guys are super, super close. So it's very cool for people that don't know. Peter and Eden just drove down and they're visiting Burleigh and Mary and Sierra. So it's really nice that you guys can reconnect. And how long has it been since you've seen each other?
6 months.
What,
6 months since we've
But-
seen Eden, but we haven't seen
10
Peter
months.
for almost a year.
But they were hungry. They were hungry. That's why they're here.
We came down
Okay.
for Scottish
Yeah.
spaghetti.
I knew he was doing the haggis. I had to come.
I mean, they tried to leave us, but they missed us too much.
And he's always tossing the caber.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really crazy with this whole pandemic that, people that are used to touring like yourselves have become kind of homebound. And so with that, a lot of people are pumping out new tunes, which I know Tin Drum has. Peter, have you been working on any new stuff while you've had?
I have. I was in the middle, when the whole thing hit, I was in the middle of a new CD and, just moving and everything. I didn't even take all my studio stuff up there. I'm down here to get the rest of it and take it back. And then I'll finish up and should be a new CD within, I don't know, 4 months. It's mostly finished. I just got to add a couple of new things.
So
and it's called, by the way, it's called Baby Don't Come Back.
Baby Don't Come Back.
It is. And the main song on it is called Baby Don't Come Back.
Are you talking about COVID-19? Because we definitely don't want that to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to take it for what it is. And as bad as it was, and the fact that we canceled almost 80 shows, it opened up to other doors and, things that needed attention that weren't getting it because we were too busy with our other lives. So I can't say it was all a waste. There were some good things too.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up because I think throughout this pandemic, a lot of people have been finding those silver linings. And so with that, I have to ask the question of all of you, with so many great outlets such as Zoom and FaceTime and Facebook and Instagram and lives and YouTube and all of that stuff, it has given musicians a chance to find an outlet on social media, online. Had this happened in the 70s, early 80s, what do you think would have happened to the music industry and people not been able to pump out some new tunes and reach the audiences?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, we did have the Hong Kong flu in '68, but that wasn't nearly as devastating as this was. But I think pretty much music would have taken a good year off without a doubt. But people still write, and it's just it'll come back, and it'll come back with a vengeance. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I for one am never going to complain about
Airports.
about a gig or an airport again. And that's one thing I kind of realized when it did stop. About a month into it, I realized how burnt out I was from doing what we do. We were doing, and so to me, I've got a second lease on it because I've had the time off.
To appreciate it.
I appreciate it for what I had, and can't wait to get back to it.
So let's talk about that for a quick second. I saw you guys obviously in Atlantic City, and it was so much fun. I've actually seen Burleigh and Mary twice in Atlantic City. I saw Peter once. But I always talk about this on the Yacht Club, where it's true from what I can see is that all of the yacht rockers all know each other. You all intertwine in some way or another. Always the most humble, down-to-earth, wonderful people, and you dabble with each other. So for instance, I know Burleigh, you play with Player, and Peter, you've done stuff with Little River Band.
I had to beg Peter to play with him.
But I also play with Ambrosia.
Yeah.
Most of my gigs are with Ambrosia.
A lot of it.
It's all very
Ambrosia, yeah.
But
dodgy.
we have to thank. I have to thank Yacht Rock in a way because, I mean, I think I knew you. I played, yeah. But Yacht Rock kind of brought all these artists together.
Yeah.
That really, we were kind of in our own worlds. And until Yacht Rock started happening, and then all of a sudden, we're playing with Peter, we're playing with John.
We played with so many people.
Yeah, and so Yacht Rock has been good. So now we kind of have, a brotherhood with all these people that were really kind of on their own trajectory and their own path, and now we get to share all our careers together. And it's been cool.
It is so awesome. And I know you guys tour together, which is so great. Speaking of which, you guys are coming to Bensalem, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from Baltimore, where I am right now. And it's going to be John Ford Coley, Player, Ambrosia, and Gary Wright. This is awesome. I'm going to say I'm very excited for concerts to come back, but I'm super excited for this teaming up to come back. And with that said, I want to hop into hearing some comeback. Can you tell us a little bit, Peter, how you wrote Baby Come Back? And then I would love for you to play it.
I don't remember it, to tell you the truth. It's been a year, something. Can you just show me the chords
It's
again?
Baby Come Back. Baby Come Back.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's a long story. I'll cut it short. In 1977, I went to a party in Hollywood. I was just bumming around LA and, writing songs and stuff. And I bumped into this guy at a party called J.C. Crowley, and he was from Texas. And I was from Liverpool, England, and I was like a totally different person than he was. And he was interested in me because of the Beatles and stuff. And I was interested in him because he was kind of like a cowboy, And so we got on well. We had a few drinks, and we said, let's get together in a few days and we'll write a handful of songs. And we did. We wrote a handful of songs and decided to start, shopping them around in LA. And we did that with not much interest. And then one day in Hollywood, in my place in Hollywood, we came up with the beginning. And 2 days later, it was finished. And we went back and started playing to these people, and everything was different. We'd play a couple of songs and they'd be like, "Ah, that's all right." And then we'd do Baby Come Back, and nobody had ever heard it, and their mouths would drop and everybody would just go, "Oh my God, that's a hit." And so we knew we had something. And Dennis Lambert and Brian Potter signed us to their small label, Haven, and they went belly up and kind of took us to Robert Stigwood and RSO Records, and they instantly signed us. And we were pretty much, we'd never done any big gigs, and we're in rehearsal in this rat-infested place in, remember Rats?
Yeah, sure.
Little rehearsal. And our manager comes running in and he says, "Guys, you're number 80 on Billboard." We'd released Baby Come Back, a little while earlier. And that was like probably one of the happiest days of my life. Better for me than when it hit number one, because you kind of get used to it as things go along. But being even on the charts, I'd never had anything on the charts, and that was fantastic. And then they put us on tour with Gino Vanelli. And as the record kept going up, they pulled us off and put us with Boz Scaggs on the Silk Degrees tour, which was, huge arenas. And we did that whole tour, and we did Clapton and Hart and Kenny Loggins over 2 years, and then we split up.
Wow.
The original band split up right there.
Yes.
It was a very short-lived band.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of new versions. I've always been there. But yeah, it was like 2 years of heavy touring. 2 albums from the original band, and then the rest of the Player albums were pretty much me producing and writing.
Well, the band may have been short-lived, but the music lives on forever. So let's hear from you, and let's hear Baby Come Back.
See if I can remember. This is the campfire version of this. We just
love it.
learned it right now.
Tell me what you're calling them, yeah.
Oh, I want to just say an interesting little story.
Oh,
A
yes.
guy called me out of the blue named John Beckett, and he's a guitar maker in outside of Belfast, Northern Ireland. Make this quick. And he said, "I want to make you a guitar because I have the same name as you." And he asked me what woods I wanted, what I wanted on the guitar. I chose all the woods and everything. And 2 years later, it arrived, and it's right here. It's got Beckett and ivory on the headstock and the little Celtic knot right here.
It's
And that's
beautiful.
what I'm so 2, 3, 4. Spending all my nights, all my money going out in the town, doing anything to get you off of my mind. When the morning comes, I'm right back where I started again, and trying to forget you is just a waste of time. Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me, 'cause I was wrong and I just can't live without you, no. All day long, wearing a mask of false bravado, trying to keep up a smile, heart's a tear. As the sun goes down, get that empty feeling again. How I wish to God you were here. Baby, come back. Any kind of all that see, there was something in everything about you. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me,
together. Give me a chance to make me see. Have you used up all the love in your heart? Give it nothing left for me. Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you. Baby, come back. Listen, baby, 'cause you can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you. I was wrong, and I just
Yes.
Rock and roll, campfire.
That's the best campfire I've ever been to. Oh my goodness. That was just awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you guys. And I love that. I mean, look, we've got Player and Ambrosia teaming up to do this together. Is beautiful. Just beautiful. I love that. Burleigh, I want to ask you, I've talked to you about this before. I want you to tell everybody the story of how Ambrosia came together when you put $5 into a music service
Oh, yeah.
and they put $5 into a. I love this story, Burleigh.
Well, okay, so there's I was in college at UCLA, and I happened to be in Hollywood one day, and I think on Sunset Boulevard there was a little storefront that it was called Musicians Contact Service, and I don't know why I was there, but I stumbled into this place, and for $5 on the 3x5 card, you could put your name, your number, and what you did, and put it on the wall. And lo and behold, a week later, I think Joe Quarta, Christopher North, and Dave Pack, the original Ambrosia, came in and saw the card. And I think it was because of my name, Burleigh Drummond, which sometimes translates into barely drumming.
I could.
But anyway, so they called me, and I think, well, I had two things going for me. I had the name Burleigh Drummond, and also had a band. So that got me in the band, and the rest is history.
It's usually the guy that has the van who really does get into the band. Come on. I mean, really.
Yeah, yes. Well, I'm very proud of that band.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Tell me a little bit. I know, Peter was talking about Player and how they were on the Silk Degrees tour. Tell me a little bit about the early days of Ambrosia. Who did you tour with? How did you start out? And what was your biggest, tour buddy?
Oh, wow. Okay, so our first hit, Holding On to Yesterday, with our first two albums were more progressive in nature. So we were opening for people like Rush. I mean, we'd open for Rush and some more male crowds, and doing small shows on our own. And we opened for a lot of the same people Player did. I mean, Art, Fleetwood Mac, you name it, Dave Mason, you name it. We played with everybody. The Doobie Brothers, yes. Louis Lewis and the News, you name it. Toto. And then when we had our hits like Biggest Part of Me and How Much I Feel, then we started doing more of our own shows, like not arena shows, but large club shows, where we could headline ourselves. So we kind of graduated into that at that point. And then, that was kind of the Ambrosia. But we played with everybody. And, in fact, that's kind of nice because it's kind of come around to where, Mike McDonald, we played with a lot in those days, and now we still get to play with him today.
You get to play with them.
Yeah, with him. So it's kind of fun. And now, especially Ambrosia for me, is so great because I have Mary, my wife, with me in Ambrosia, and that makes it very special.
How did you two meet?
Well, we met when Ambrosia was on hiatus for about 5 years, and I had a roommate, a very good guitar player and producer. He just won a Grammy, John Wood. Yeah, he won a Grammy for Piano Apple. He was my roommate, and he had a cousin, Mary, coming to town from a small town called Three Rivers in California. And he asked me, do you want to play in a band? Let's form a band. And so we did. And Mary sat up in my living room, and I had to awkwardly walk around her one time to get something to another room. And we faced off, and that was it. That was the love at first sight. And yeah, it's been 37 years. So, you know.
That's like a scene out of a movie, Burleigh. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know it sounds pretty too good to be true, but it is true.
So there are still 3 original Ambrosia members, correct?
Yes, there is. Chris North, Joe Puerta, and myself. Yes.
Okay. And so how do you feel evolving from where you started out to now? I mean, I've seen the show, and it's very high energy. It's really exciting. The crowd absolutely adores you guys. How do you keep mixing it up and creating new things to do? Or do you feel that the crowd doesn't want that and they just want to stick with the classics?
Well, I think in the outer performing, you have to be able to entertain yourself to be true to the audience.
We have a couple new.
So yeah, so we have some new originals, and we have some covers that we do, kind of a testament to people that played with us. Like, say, Bruce Hornsby played in Ambrosia for a short period, so we do a little, The Way It Is as a tribute to him, and we do a lot of our catalog, from the early progressive stuff through the hits, through a couple of new songs. So we have to make it to where we're excited to do it in order to be convincing to the audience. We don't want to just get up there and slowly fade into the distance. And we want to be good at what we're doing.
And current.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
That's
important.
why we keep Peter Beckett close by. That's why you keep him close to us at all times.
Those are always our best.
Especially when he's looking for words.
So are we having something to drink over there?
Little
Maybe.
bit.
Party?
A little
So
bit.
I want to bring up that Mr. Peter Beckett, you were dabbling in something over the pandemic called Baby Come Back Bubbly with Yacht Rock Wines. How did that come about?
Well, I'm always dabbling in something, but I've been doing the yacht rock thing. I think we were all on that first one.
Oh, yeah.
Like 11 years or something,
Oh, yeah.
And God, I mean, like 5 years into it, I realized that this is a movement. It's slow, but it's going to happen. There's all these people in the sailors' caps, and they're all drunk and singing along with the choruses, with the band, and they're young, which is, another whole thing. So, I thought this is a movement that's happening. And so my wife and I, my beautiful wife, Eden, we said, let's do some. We were trying to get into the wine business, and we said, let's see if we can get Yacht Rock Wine's trademark. And so we applied for it, and we got it, and we sat on it for a while, and it was kind of a hard thing to get going. We tasted tons of wine, which was a real hardship, and finally arrived. We decided to put the whole thing about Yacht Rock Wines is it's all going to be yacht rock themed, artist involved wines. The first one is me, Baby Come Back Bubbly. It's a champagne.
Show them the picture.
And this is a phone. I don't know if you can see this, but we're kind of selling phone things.
Yeah, bring it forward just a little bit more and up. There you go,
That-
right there.
That's the
Boz.
label from the bottle.
Perfect.
But I don't want to bore you. But anyway, so it took us a few years, and we got it going. We found a great place that makes our wine for us up in Paso Robles. And it's really good stuff. It's method champenois, so it's like real champagne, but you can't call it that because it's not from France. But it is done in the method champenois fashion. So it's out now. You can get to that at yachtrockwines.com, and it's a really nice website. but that's it. It's taken us years, and we're there with the first one. We're going to get several of the Yacht
Other
Rock
artists
people,
too.
Al Stewart, and as many as we
And
can.
Ambrosia.
And each wine will be dedicated to one of those artists, and in some cases, even the label on the bottle will be the album cover. I think that we're going to do that with Al Stewart.
Oh,
Yeah.
That makes
And it's
sense.
we have a Cabernet called Year of the Cab.
Yes.
The Year of the
I love
Cab.
that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And then we're going to approach Michael McDonald, and we're going to have a Zinfandel, and it's going to be called What a Fool Believe Zin. So we're going to be a little kitsch on the whole thing.
I
but
think that
it's
Mike
all
would
really high quality stuff. Sorry.
Mike would love that. Mike would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to approach a lot of people. So we're just in the baby stages.
And
But
let
I
me
would
bring up,
recommend it highly.
They do Ambrosia.
yes, yachtrockwines.com. Let me bring up real quick, Peter, since I have twin teenage daughters, they hopped on the TikTok trend, and Baby Come Back was a huge TikTok dance.
You're talking about Young Gravy, right?
No.
Oh.
Maybe come back in general.
Oh, yeah, there was that, yeah.
Yes. So TikTok,
Yeah.
it's really honing into the young audience, like my teenagers. And I heard it and I'm like, are you listening to Player? And they're like, no, we're on TikTok. And I said, give me your phone. Let me see that. And I sent it to Eden. I said, you got to see this. This is so cool. So that's kudos to you. And now we got to get Ambrosia on TikTok. We're gonna have to figure that out.
There you go.
Yeah, seriously.
Burleigh, let me ask you about the songwriting. I know it's David Pack, but let me ask you about You're the Only Woman. Can you talk a little bit about how that song came to be?
Well, yes. After How Much I Feel, some of the lyrics and How Much I Feel caused some problems with the relationships in the band. Because as you know, one of the lyrics is sometimes when we make love, he's talking about somebody else now. He goes, I still can see your face. And he's talking about his old girlfriend. So we had to come up with songs that made amends.
Is You're the Only Woman about Gail?
And so You're the Only Woman and Biggest Part of Me were makeup songs.
Oh.
Makeup songs to apologize for writing that lyric and having a big hit with it. Sometimes you just got to do that. But I have to say, Dave Pack was the writer of those songs. So I got to give him credit.
Yep.
He was the one in trouble. So there you
How
go.
about we hear you all do You're the Only Woman?
Okay.
Sure.
Now, would you like Peter and Eden to dance to it while we?
We
play?
could dance in the background.
Yes, that would be beautiful.
Yeah,
Can I take my clothes off?
Yes.
Oh, God, of
Would you like-
course.
Would you like Peter to take the
Stay on.
spot?
If I'm gonna dance, I need.
You don't know this is rated R, did you?
This is mine. Okay.
That's all right.
That's the
That's all right.
second time.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, baby. I say now you talk about things I do, yeah, but baby I'll try and explain the reasons why, yeah.
'Cause I've been thinking about the things that you said late last night. Whenever a word I said just didn't come out right, and there was so no reason that I felt you. But darling, there's no reason why we're going through, because you and I been in love too long to worry about tomorrow. Here's a place where we both belong. I know you're the only woman that I'm dreaming of. You're the only woman that I really love.
Now, baby, see what the social club done for me. Yeah, now, darling, why? Yeah. you break my heart, make me cry, yeah.
'Cause I've been thinking about the things that we said late last night whenever a word I said just didn't come out right. And I was so afraid that you found someone new, but darling, there's no need for what we're going through, because you and I really love too long to worry about tomorrow. Here's a place where we both belong. I know you're the only woman that I'm dreaming of.
You're the only woman that I'm dreaming of.
You're the only woman that I really love.
You're the only woman that I really love.
Don't think. Pain of love surrounds you, and the world may be unkind. I'll put my loving arms around you, take you far from this place and time, because you and I really love too long to worry about tomorrow. Here's a place where we both belong. I know you're the only woman that I'm dreaming of.
You're the only woman that I'm dreaming of.
You're the only woman that I really love.
You're the only woman that I really love.
You're the only woman.
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 Yeah.
You know what? This wine that I'm drinking is so good that I forgot the lyrics to one of our own songs. Nobody noticed.
I didn't even notice. And I'm not drinking right now.
I have to say, for a drunken campfire Zoom, that was pretty darn good.
Thanks.
Love that song. Always love hearing you guys perform. And so, Miss Sierra, let's talk about you for a hot second. How cool is this? You get to play with your parents. How did this family dynamic musically come together?
Oh man, well I'm just pretty grateful for every chance I get to sing or play with them. Growing up, I think I took it for granted. I just didn't know any different. I mean, obviously, I never really played much with Ambrosia. That was a whole nother world that I got to witness, but not really be a part of. But I mean, playing with the family band has just been like the default of my life until I really went away to go study, and I wasn't able to sing for a while. I had a vocal injury. But within the last year, I just moved home from Thailand last year.
From Peace Corps.
From the Peace Corps. I got evacuated because of COVID, and I think that I just grew apart from music because I wasn't able to do it. But now being home for a year, I can't get enough of music, and just having these two kids as my parents is the greatest gift. And we have a studio in our home, and they've just been so willing to engage with my music and play it with me. So I just feel so lucky.
She has some great originals.
You just released your first crop of songs, right?
Yeah, I put 3 songs up on streaming services, and it's my first time really putting music out seriously. So I'm really excited to continue doing so. And the family band has just been such a treat. I've learned so much from them.
That's amazing. We can check out Sierra Drummond, right? On Spotify. Okay. Other streaming services. Yeah, we're going to have to check you out. How cute is that she calls you guys these kids? I love that. I love that so much. Do you think maybe that's another silver lining of this pandemic, was it gave you a chance to come back and hang out with your parents and do some music, and you recovered from this vocal injury and now you get to pump out some new stuff? which we're going to hear something from Tin Drum in just a few minutes. So I'm excited to hear that. But I mean, that's another silver lining for you guys to be able to connect and
Yeah.
It was huge for us because we were all in this house. I mean, luckily, I have to say we were lucky that we were all here. I mean, all 7 of us were together for the pandemic, and now this year has a boyfriend. All 8 of us were together, but you know, about a month into the pandemic, we were looking at each other and going, "This is our chance to do something together."
Because our son's on the road all the time.
Our son is on the road all the time with his band, the Everly Brothers Experience. So they were shut down too. So my son, Sierra, Mary, and myself, and our granddaughter, Kira, started performing. And actually, my daughter-in-law, Shanda, we all started putting streaming shows together and putting them out. And that's the most fun I think I've probably ever had, is doing those shows. So.
see, you can have fun with some social media and some online streaming. It's cool. But
Yeah.
I know that you guys are probably itching to get back up on the stage and all of you and go back out and hit the road again. But it's great
I'm
to
excited.
family time.
Yes, we are. We are excited, you know, excited to play with Peter and all the people that we get to play with. But I don't want to let go of what we started here. I don't want to let go of the family band and the things that we discovered during the pandemic, because those two have become very important to me personally. So I don't want to give those up.
Don't tell me that you're going to stop though, because I want you to learn how to juggle that, Burleigh, because we want the best of all of you.
No, absolutely.
He never takes on too much.
Not really.
Not Burleigh.
Absolutely. No, it's all good.
So what do you have coming up besides, so let's talk a little bit. I know that I mentioned that you guys are coming to Pennsylvania in August. And again, it's Gary Wright, John Ford Coley, Player and Ambrosia. Do you guys have other shows that you're starting to line up? You guys starting to play with different people? Who are you anxious maybe to play with that maybe you haven't played with yet and you maybe want to hit the stage with?
Well, we
Well-
never played with Kenny Loggins. Are we playing with him?
No, he's on the same bill with us.
Oh,
so-
okay.
But
Have another
yes,
song to learn.
we actually start, we start May 8th in St. Louis. So we have a couple shows in May, nothing in June. It's very spotty through the year. August, September,
We
pretty
start,
busy.
yeah.
Yeah, we start with Peter in August and September. I think so in
With-
November too.
November too.
Yeah,
With Player or with Ambrosia?
Ambrosia.
It's
Ambrosia
us,
with
you with
yeah,
me.
With you.
Yeah.
See, I
So,
don't even know this.
so I think this year will kind of be spotty, but you know, it'll be the start of coming back. and then-
2022, I think.
Then
is-
2022 will probably be back to,
That's
I
what I
hope,
think.
Yeah.
you know, of course, God willing, and no further
Yeah.
pandemics or anything.
We can only hope. And then it's going to be that new normal for you, Burleigh. We're going to have to find that balance
Yeah.
to keep what you started now.
I'm excited to find that balance.
We're excited to see that balance. You can find, tell everybody where you can hear Tin Drum.
Huh?
Everywhere.
Every-
On all streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iTunes.
All of our music or
Yeah.
just hold on?
Hold on, and all of Tin Drum's
Okay.
catalog. Yeah. I figured it out for them.
See, that's another good thing about having Sierra at home.
A young person.
Yeah.
And I'm not even that techie. I don't even fully belong in my generation, but a bit more.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then Peter, are you still doing Limey Cowboy or are you just going to be sticking with your solo stuff?
You know, something funny happened. I was in the middle of that country album and I loved it. It was like real boot scooting stuff and I was enjoying it. And then I got an offer from Frontiers Records to do a new Player album. This is a few years back, you know, and I just let it go. I dropped the Limey Cowboys thing and, you know, did Too Many Reasons, which was the last real Player album. I go out now as Peter Beckett's Player, Legal Reasons, and I'm going to have this new CD done in a few months, and I'm integrating some of the Limey Cowboys stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. I like that idea. So on social media, you can always follow Ambrosia. You can follow Peter Beckett's Player and find out all the stuff that they're doing, and definitely come. I know that all of you are, you know, well, most of you are close by here. So You can always check out the show in Pennsylvania in August. But let's hear a little bit of Tin Drum. You guys have a brand new song called Hold On, Mary on lead vocals, and I love it. I heard it. It's fantastic. So I want to share it with everybody.
Thank
Do you mind covering that?
Not at all, and it's about the pandemic, so
Perfect.
that's what inspired it. So, okay, yeah.
I'm not in tin drum, so I'll step out.
Well, you are.
I
You're
wish
an
you
honor-
were.
I will be. You're an honorary member.
Wish
I'm
you
gonna,
were.
I'm gonna turn you just a little to feature Mary. So you can see her.
Okay.
2, 3.
I wonder where we're going. Have we lost our way? I wonder about tomorrow. How worry about today? Oh, hold on to your heart. Streets will slip away. Hold on to your heart. Let's take the next highway. There is a darkness out there. I wanna be okay. Some people wear their sorrows. Too many lost in pain. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on to your heart. Streets can slip away. Hold on to your heart. Let's take the next highway. There was a time life was a pageant. We took life for granted. Now things are strange. So much has changed. Hold on. Whoa. Hold on to your heart. 'Cause streets will slip away. Hold on to your heart. Let's take the next highway. Hold on to your heart. The streets will slip away. Hold on to your heart. There will come a day. Hold on, hold on. Ooh, yeah. Hold on. There will come a day. Hold on, hold on. Ooh, yeah. I'll be on my way. Hold on, hold on. We'll be on the day. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. There will come a day.
Woo! Tin Drum, Hold On. You can hear that on all the streaming services, and love me some Tin Drum. You all, I have to say, let's get Peter back in here. And even Eden. I just have to say, you all are seriously the nicest group of people ever. It is always a pleasure hanging out with you and talking to you and hearing your stories. And of course, listening to you play and share your music with everybody. So thank you all for being on and kicking off our doc party here at WTMD. It's been so much fun, and I can't wait to maybe come back and see you guys in August.
Meredith, can I just ask you something?
Yeah.
we're getting some stuff on our phone here from a lot of people who couldn't get on. They couldn't get onto this. Are you going to post this?
We're going to share it. We're going to share it. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to share it. So no worries. But we did have a nice group. To the whole group that joined us tonight, thank you all for being here for the dock party. We couldn't think of a better way to kick it off than with Ambrosia and Player. I mean, how cool is this?
Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you.
And we will be putting it on YouTube very soon, and I will share the links with all of you.
We're going to eat our haggis now.
Yes, haggis spaghetti. I hope you guys have a wonderful, lovely visit together. And again, a lovely group of people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Meredith.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.